Welcome back, everybody, to some more Planet Zoo here on the channel. We are back in Riverside, my franchise zoo that I've been building in for a while now, and I am not going to be building any kind of like structures or anything to that. Well, I mean, I am, but I'm not going to be building like a staff center or anything like that. No, today we are back into the habitat building today. This is something I've been trying to figure out how I wanted to do for a while now. Which is why I haven't been doing a whole lot of these videos. But I've kind of come up with an idea finally for doing an exhibit that I've been wanting to do. It's a new animal that I've never played with before. Like, I've never had a zoo with this animal in it, and I really like them, and I've been wanting to just like have a lot of fun with them and build some kind of like really neat exhibit that meets my high standards. So, and I have very high standards for myself. I hate to do anything that is just, it's not going to be perfect. And that's why this video has taken so long to kind of get out. It's just because I literally have been trying to think about how I would do this for months now. So the animal in question, that is the Red Panda. I really love the Red Pandas. I've liked them ever since I first saw them in the game, and I thought, oh man, those are really cool. I can't wait to build an exhibit for them. Well, I've never used them until now, and I've finally come up with something I like. Now, when I first started building this, I'll be honest, I wasn't sure how this was going to come out. I wasn't happy with it in the very beginning here as I was constructing it. I just don't know if this is gonna look good, because like I said, I have a high standard when it comes to building in Planet Coaster, Planet Zoo, and if I'm not happy with it, I really don't want to make it work, and I usually will like tear it all down and go back to drawing board. Very rarely do I ever let something pass into my parks that is just what I consider to be substandard. Every now and then I have done it just because it's like, oh man, I'm just so done with this. Let's just get this out of here. But for this one, I mean, I've done everything in this park has been like top notch in my opinion. I've worked and worked and worked trying to make it work, and I think I finally found a design that it ended up coming out quite nice. At least I think so, and I hope you guys will agree with me. Red pandas, of course, are an Asian type of animal. I didn't want to do like a full kind of Asian build for this or anything. Instead, I just kind of wanted to do something that just was a little more natural and a little more technically generic, because this isn't a highly themed zoo. This zoo is more or less just kind of like a regular everyday zoo that most people would go to. And some of the building stuff and things I have done is probably a little higher standard than that. But, you know, I try not to go too super themed or anything like, we're doing pandas. I guess we better build like a giant Chinese Asian area to go along with that, with like, you know, monuments and all that stuff like that. No, we're not going to do that. So it ended up, I wanted to try to keep it very low key, I guess is the word I'm looking for. I'm pretty happy with what I made. So as you can see, one of the first few things I've done here is I've kind of dug out this little area, because I know these guys, they are very good at escaping. They climb trees and a bunch of other stuff, and I wasn't sure like what trees they do climb, and the trees that I used, I wasn't sure if they would climb those until actually I got them into the actual enclosure, and I was like, oh well, look at that, he is climbing that. And then they started climbing the fences, so I had to fix that problem too. So they're sneaky litter boogers, I'll tell you that. But yeah, I was able to get this work. So first thing I did was I dug out this kind of little area here, and then I did these two circular platforms, and this is basically where our guests are going to walk out on these platforms here, and they'll be able to look out over into the enclosure. And this is probably the largest enclosure that I've built for such a small animal, which is weird because you'd think that the bears would have been bigger, but yeah, I ended up making that one maybe slightly too small. This one, I ended up making this one a little too big. It's still, though, I mean, it works because I was able to get like the trees and stuff and things in there. They were a tight fit to get the foliage and stuff in there that I wanted to do, but I was able to get it. So what we're going to work on right now that you're seeing on screen is the main building where they will be taken care of. the keeper building, I guess you could call it. This is where they're going to be sleeping, their little indoor habitat area. Guests won't see in here at all. This is mostly just going to be just where the keepers can kind of come into the area, make sure they're fed, take care of them, things like that. I guess if bad weather or something comes in, or something where they need to close the park and keep the animals inside, I guess this is where they would kind of lock them into this little area here. Wasn't sure what I was doing with this until it just kind of come together, and I just kind of started. I dug a hole, I put the 2 circular things there, and then I just kind of started placing the pieces I knew I wanted to use. Like, I knew I wanted to use that dry stone because I've used the dry stone a lot in this park already, and it's one of my favorite walls. And then I kind of was thinking about the upper part of it, and which, of course, one of the things you don't see is all the little things that I took out of the video because it was just too time consuming. Trying different windows, trying different wall sets and stuff to go in there, but I eventually decided to go with these log walls, I guess is the best way to call them. Like, it's a wooden pillar kind of wall. The roof, man, the roof was a pain, let me just tell you. But it came out quite nice in the end. I was very happy with it. It's all, I didn't really plan this very well. I just kind of put it together as I was going. And yeah, I like how it came out. It came out all right. Again, in the beginning here, when I was first starting to build this, I was just like, I just don't know. And it's not exactly straight either. Like, it's not, the pieces aren't perfectly aligned or any of that. I pretty much eyeballed pretty much every single bit of this. So yeah, I know some of you guys out there, you like to hear me talk about, you know, how I did this or how I did that. You like it when I describe the specific steps and stuff that I took. And I'll be completely honest with you. This was just like, I eyeballed every single bit of this and just put the planks up there and tried it. There was no measurement for this. Like, when I first started the park, or the zoo, I should say, the beginning entrance, I literally measured out like each of the fence posts to make sure they were just the exact length apart. This was just like, yeah, that looks close enough. Let's put that up there. I was trying to build this in a hurry because I wanted to get it done by Saturday. I didn't get it done by Saturday, so I was hoping I'd get it done by Sunday. Didn't get it done by Sunday, so I got it done by Monday, which is where you guys are probably watching this right now, unless you're put it off in your watch list and you're watching it some other time, or you're just now finding the channel and going back and watching some of these. But yeah, so didn't get it up by the weekend like I wanted, and yeah, it is what it is. At least I'm getting it out, and that's the most important part. But I don't like to give you guys substandard stuff. I just don't. I prefer to give you things that I'm happy with, and if I ain't happy with it, then, you know, I'm just not going to show you guys. But this came out really well. What you actually just saw on the screen was a problem that I had almost the entire weekend long. Was the game just kept going offline. So I'm playing in franchise mode. This isn't sandbox. This is franchise. And in franchise mode, if the server goes offline, then you lose connection and it won't let you do anything else. And you're just kind of stuck there sitting at a screen until it comes back online and lets you resume again. That happened multiple times throughout the entire weekend to me as I was trying to build this, which it took a little bit of time to try to finish everything. I cut a lot of that out. It would just disconnect and reconnect and disconnect and reconnect, and it was such a pain. And I'm fairly certain it's an issue with the Frontier Planet Zoo servers, which kind of sucks. But I mean, I didn't want to play in sandbox mode. Sandbox mode is just it's too easy because I can just build whatever I want, and in most cases I really enjoy that. But for this particular series, I wanted to build something that was kind of like a zoo that I can actually run and manage and do things. I'm not big on all the micromanagement, but I mean, I am slightly enjoying myself more as I'm playing this in franchise mode. And I've talked about this before in a video, but I hated franchise mode in beta. In beta, that was all we got to play with was franchise mode. We didn't get sandbox at all. And I absolutely hate it. And I said I would never, ever play it again. But yet, here I am playing it. It gives a little more like goals and stuff to kind of work towards, because you're literally working off of the animals and stuff that you can get that are only on the marketplace. So you have to wait until one comes available that is in a suitable range for the credits that you have, and hopefully they're not price gouging you, which happens a lot. But you know, you only have what animals are available, so you got to look and try to find just the right animals. In sandbox mode, it's different because you have access to all kinds of animals. It's not a big deal. You have unlimited credits, unlimited money, and you can do that. And like I said, most of the time that's my preferred way of playing. But I wanted to do this in franchise mode just to kind of I wanted a little bit of that micromanagement. I wanted a little bit of some gameplay to go with my creativity. And I thought this was the best way to do it. So as you see, what I've been doing the last few minutes as I've been talking here in the video is I've been putting these railings and stuff around here. Of course, that's to keep the guests from, you know, falling into the enclosure. And it wasn't perfect, but I think they fit together pretty well. Again, I don't like having like a variety of pieces and stuff, but I will say that the game is getting better as far as providing variety of pieces. I'm still like waiting for a lot more recolorable stuff, but I have been using some of the stuff from Australia and things. And speaking of Australia, can't wait to get started on doing the koalas and the kangaroos. I was waiting on those two animals forever and was very sad that they weren't in the game from the very beginning. But we did finally get them with the last DLC, and along with some other new things as well that we can play with as far as object-wise and building pieces and stuff. So a few pieces I have used here, but not a lot. I can't wait to really get into that and delve more into the koalas and stuff. When you're building with paths and you're trying to do enclosures that are kind of dug in, or you're trying to dig down next to paths and stuff like that, it's really hard to make it work because you get these jagged edges and you can't get the ground to kind of smooth out all that great next to a path. For this, what I ended up doing was just basically covering up all those jagged edges, as you can see here. I put some curving in around the path, and then I put the mulch that we have in, I think it's nature. If you go down to gardening stuff, the mulch is down in there. So I use these pieces here and kind of tilted them a little bit so that they're kind of going uphill and kind of at an angle, and was able to make all this work really, really well, actually. And we'll come back to this before the end of the video to see what I'm doing right there in the front of the enclosure. But I think right now what we're going to start on is actually building the things where our little red pandas are going to be playing and climbing around on and stuff like that. So one of the things that I've done here, you can see, is I've made this little round hole kind of inside the enclosure there, which I don't think you guys saw me put that in. I don't know what happened to that video. I know I recorded it, but I don't know what happened to it. Apparently I didn't put it into this video, but I basically just took a couple of pieces and just kind of made a circle with it and then put it in the wall, and then made the wall work for me. And I think it worked out really well. I'm pretty happy with it. I don't think I saw myself do it. I don't know, maybe it was on there, but I don't think it was in this video. If you guys want that, if you want to see me on how I did that, I could probably make a video on and show you how I did it. But it's up to you guys. If you want to see it, let me know. If not, no biggie. I just won't make it. But if you want a little bit extra behind the scenes stuff, I could probably throw something together. So we're going to use these broken cherry trees right here to kind of place a few pieces here and there. And I was just trying to figure out something I thought might kind of work for putting some like play areas and stuff in here, things they can climb around on and such. So like I said in the very beginning, the animals, they'll be living inside of the enclosure there, inside of the little building, and then they'll be able to climb out onto the log, go through the circle tunnel out into the play area, to the outside area, where they'll still be able to climb around on all these other climbable logs and these little like levels and stuff that they have in there, almost like cat trees. You know, that's basically what these things are. Never really played around with these either. Like, I've not played around with the monkeys in the game or anything like that. So, I mean, I wasn't sure exactly how they interact with all this. I was just like, kind of like, let's just make something that kind of looks cool and looks like, you know, they might have fun climbing around on. And that's pretty much what I was doing here. Just trying to make it all connect and look good and work together. So we're just going to put these platforms and stuff up here and some climbable logs and make those work. And you know, I threw some stuff up there to make it look like the logs are being held up with some sort of support system. I found these little pieces right here to kind of work quite well for that. As you can see there, just kind of put them in there and make like a, yeah, I think that's a pretty good thing. Now to connect these two climbable logs together, I thought it was a good idea to maybe we got these rope pieces in one of the DLCs. I think it was the Australia pack that the rope pieces are in. And I threw these in here and kind of put them together to kind of make it look like the climbable logs there are kind of tied up to one another to be held in place right there as the support beams. And I believe it actually causes a problem with the Red Pandas, because I was watching them climb around on that. And it's weird. They will like jump off of it and go around those rope pieces instead of climbing on down the thing. And I don't understand why they're doing that, but I guess the rope pieces are causing some sort of weird interaction with the pandas. It's strange, but that seems to be what's happening. And again, here I'm just kind of like building some pieces here to kind of give the guests a little bit of a show. You know, that way they can actually watch all the little pandas. I'm only going to start out with 2 pandas. Speaking of which, I have a male panda and a female red panda, and I don't know what I'm going to call them. So I'm going to let you guys help me decide on the names for our very first 2 red pandas, the male one and the female one. So if you guys got any great ideas for some names for those guys, put them in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and stuff on what you would like to call them, and we'll see. The winner, it will basically get the name of the red pandas put on there. So don't really have anything else to say during this section. It's just kind of trying to build this and kind of make it look natural and like something that you would see at a zoo or something, in like a little climbing area, like I guess like kind of one of those like kids climbing areas that you would see at like a park or something, except this one's made for red pandas instead. And again, totally, like I said, I've never played around with the red pandas. I've never played around with any of the animals that actually use these particular pieces, except in the tutorial, but I didn't build anything in the tutorial like this. I just, you know, they were already kind of there. So if you're playing career mode, then, you know, you don't really do that. And I didn't go far in career mode either. I just kind of like, I didn't do it with Planet Coaster either. It's the one achievement I don't have in Planet Coaster is finishing all the career modes and stuff up. So I played so far into it, got the hang of the game, and was just like, yeah, this story's dumb. I'm not gonna keep playing this. Let's do some sandbox. And this is basically what happened with me in Planet Coaster as well. So I am taking a few of the pieces here that are already pre-built and kind of changing them around a little bit to kind of suit my needs. I thought this was a cool little platform right here that I could work in there and make that kind of look neat. So, and just putting some more little like tiered platforms and stuff around it and making it work and making it so they can climb up and down it. After I actually got the red pandas and I put them into the enclosure and I started watching them move around and stuff on it, I kind of get an idea of how they work around it. And one of the things I thought was such a shame is they don't move fluidly around on the things. They're very much just like, they don't even connect to trees and stuff. Like when you look at them climbing a tree, they're not even on the tree. They're like floating next to the tree as they're climbing it. So I guess it's the hitboxes or something. They're not exactly climbing the tree, more or less just floating next to it as they're going up, which is strange to look at when you zoom in. Even from a distance, it's still kind of strange, but from a distance, it's not as noticeable, but it's still noticeable. If you already know they're doing it, then it's definitely noticeable. This was one of the problems I had right here. I wanted to put a cherry tree right here on this other side, the same as I did on the left-hand side. I wanted to put one on the right-hand side as well, but I couldn't make it work with the way I already had set everything up. So I had to start changing some things until I finally figured out a way to get the cherry tree to work over there. I really wanted that little splash of color into all this green and stone and all this, and that's one of the biggest things that I was trying to do, was just put a little bit of splash of color into it, because color makes everything kind of contrast, and it brings it all out and makes it more of a beautiful scene. And I mean, let's face it, even in Planet Coaster, I'm all about trying to make things more beautiful. I try to make it practical, and I try to make it realistic, but again, if it's not beautiful, then if something is going to make it more beautiful but it messes with the realism of it, I will always go with what's more beautiful to me. So what's this scene going to look like? And I'm trying to set the scene, so I wanted that color in there. So yeah, again, we're just moving some things around, and after I put the red pandas in there, that's when I started noticing, oh dang it, they can climb these trees. So I'm actually slightly worried right now. They haven't escaped yet, but I'm kind of slightly worried that they might climb one of these trees and maybe jump out. And I just have a feeling that's going to happen at some point. Probably not right away, because I've watched them for a little bit and they still haven't. They've climbed the trees, but they just climb right back down. And I'm really afraid that they're going to hop over to another tree and do that, because they just they don't even really jump. Like, you see the animation that they're gonna jump, and then it's just like they just clip through things and then just appear on whatever they were jumping to. It's just not natural, and it's a very unnatural animation. And I thought that the animations were good in this game, but I don't know. I don't know if things have changed in the game or what, but I remember it just being more fluid than what it is and what I'm seeing these things move. But I mean, it could be how I actually have these pieces put together. Maybe it's just the pieces I used and how I use them and how I have them combined with each other. Maybe that's what's causing the animations to freak out. That's a possibility too. I can't say for sure, because again, this is the first time I've ever played around with any of the small animals like that will be climbing around on that. So we're kind of skipping in here a little bit more to I've finished everything that I want to do outside. Put some rocks and stuff in there to make it a little more habitable. Is that a word? Probably not. It is now. Anyway. And I'm going to put some little borders and stuff around here just to kind of bring out the little details and stuff of the building a little bit. So we're going to throw some borders around the edge of the enclosure here. And then we're going to put in the actual enclosure fencing. Which I was trying to figure out how I wanted to do that. Did I want to use the knoll barriers, or did I actually want to use the other ones? And I ended up going with it's kind of a bit of a combination of both, but mostly I just decided I wanted to use the corrugated metal. But I hid the corrugated metal behind the dry stone walls here, so that nobody can see it. And the reason I did that is basically because I wanted to be able to, if I move something around or something like that, I want to be able to see where that barrier is, so that it doesn't interfere with anything else, if that makes sense. I didn't want it to be completely invisible, because if I was moving things around and I accidentally move a piece too far outside of the invisible wall, if the animal goes outside the invisible wall, it says they escaped, and it just causes all kinds of problems. So I decided to use the corrugated metal walls and just kind of hide it, as you can see here, behind the rock walls. It worked well for me. I got over this part right here, though, where the paths kind of go over top of the enclosure here, and I had a little bit of problems there, so I think I ended up using the no barrier there, because it seemed to work better that way. I don't know why, it just did. But I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, you know. So it was weird, because I didn't have as much of a problem with the other overpath as much as I did that first one. I don't know, maybe I just figured out how it works and just went from that. But we're about to get them all connected here all the way around, and you know, this is just to make the actual enclosure itself and to make sure that they don't escape, and to make the zone, I guess you would call it, of the enclosure. And yeah, then we're going to jump onto the inside of the building. So this is gonna be a little jumpy right here as I'm working on the inside of the building. I probably shouldn't have put the roof on until after I got this done, because the roof keeps interfering. So we're going to kind of divide the interior up into more of a chain link fence here, as you can see. And again, I didn't think about it at the time, but those little furry critters can climb that fence too, that chain link. And then I had to figure out how I was going to actually get the zookeepers and stuff in. And I finally settled upon how I have it here, where they kind of go, there's one level step up, and then they go out through the side, or the back of the building, and then a couple more levels. And I was trying to do this kind of more or less like a half basement, or like a basement entrance kind of thing. So I was putting the like it's been dug out so that you kind of get down in there. I guess like a cellar entrance, if that makes sense to some of you guys out there. I've seen this before in like houses and buildings and things, where the steps go down and there's like this little dugout place down there, and then the wall is there. But yeah, that's pretty much what I was going for here. And I think it worked out well enough. I'm still not done with that part, the back section. And when we actually go to the live view here, you guys won't really see the finished product on the back, because let's face it, this is the backstage area, and the backstage area is not as important right now to what we're building. It is going to be important later, because I am going to do an episode where we're just doing more backstage stuff. But for now, I just kind of wanted to make it work. And that's pretty much what we're going for here. So, all right, so this is the last little section of building here before we get to the live view. And I wanted to do something kind of up front here, outside of the peacock, the glass peacock, whatever, terrarium? I don't even know. A greenhouse? We'll call it a greenhouse, sure. And it's just like, it's right out in front of that, on that side of the zoo. And I know we have these little red panda statues, and I wanted to kind of use those, but I wanted to kind of build like a little scene for them. So I decided to take these little rocks here and kind of build up a little pedestal for the one and for the other one. That way it looks more like statues and stuff. I didn't realize how big they actually were though, so I had to go back and like actually make the rocks, like the pedestals, bigger, as you see me doing right now. Really had to make that work. Just didn't expect them to be quite that large when I was looking at them originally. So, but now that they're going in there, it's just like, oh yeah, well, these little guys are kind of large. We'll have to make this a little bigger here to make this work. But I think it worked out really, really well. Put a little bit of foliage around it there, a little bit of shrubbery, and a little bit of green, just kind of make like a little forest scene. Some flowers for some color there, some tree stumps over on the corner there, and then we'll put some ivy and some flowers and stuff down to kind of make the rest of the area work there. And that will pretty much be about where we're at right here. And then from here, we are going to head into the actual live view, and I'll show you the actual what we have built, the finished product and stuff for now. Of course, nothing is ever finished in my zoo. I always go back and kind of work on some other stuff and things like that. So we'll show those off later. But yeah, so there we go. Just kind of putting a little bit of ivy down, and this should be it. So of course, the last thing we have to do here before the live view is, of course, buy our red pandas. So I went through and I found, I think the female cost me 500, and I think the male cost me like 250. I think so. It cost me about 750 credits for both of them, which is a lot. But I mean, these little guys are just so cute. I was willing to pay for it. And these were just for like, I don't think they were gold. They might have been gold. Yeah, actually they were gold. So they had really, really good stats, which means once they breed, I'll be able to get those out. But hey, let's head into the live view and let's see what we can do. Alrighty guys, here we are at the Riverside Zoo entrance. We're going to take a walk over to see the red pandas here. Coming in to the zoo, not much has changed out in this particular area. In fact, I don't think I've changed a single thing out here. No, not yet. I still need to finish up the reptile center up on the hill, and I'm thinking maybe that might be the next episode, possibly. I can't say for sure. I just kind of... Those people are just kind of stuck. Wait, is it like one group of people trying to go one way and one going the other? That's exactly what it was. They just was like, you move. No, you move. Alright. Last episode, of course, you guys, if you watched episode 6, I think it was, you saw me build the new vet center, which came out so nice. I wish we could control the weather in franchise mode. I hate the fact that it's going to be a little foggy, a little cloudy, and rainy right now when we're trying to look into this. It wasn't when I started. It just started raining, I guess. Got some protesters in here. They're not exactly happy with the peacocks, and I know why. It's because there's way too many peacocks, and we're not doing a very good job of taking care of them with so many. I've fixed that, actually. Let's go ahead and actually step back here before we get to the red pandas, and I'll show you what I'm working on to fix that. So I have way too many peacocks. So I have built a pen back here to put all the little babies back here, basically. This way we can let them all grow, and then once they get old enough, we can start selling them off and pick and choose which ones we want to keep and sell off the ones we don't want to keep. I've actually got all of my peacocks right now. I have set up so that they're not going to be mating anymore. So I fixed that. So that way we don't get any more little baby peacocks. But there was just so many. I think there's like 30 some peacocks at this point. Those things, they're like rabbits. So took care of that problem now. As you can see, they're bringing them all over here. They're getting them all out of the center over there. And I've got some actual peacocks that are in the quarantine thing now too. So gonna have to check on them and get them all out there. But that way they can mature, and then once they get to a point where I can get rid of them, then we'll sell them off. But there's too many peacocks. Alright, coming on down through here. So as you can see, we're now coming up on the Red Panda area, and this is looking really nice down through here too, like actually how this comes out. So I think our guests are very happy with the peacocks, or not peacocks, but the red pandas, because we can't even get, they're all blocking up this path right here. Come on, guys, jeez. I've got a little educational thing set here. This was really neat here, so I put this down here, and that way the guests, they can come in and then, you know, take a look at the Red Panda educational board, and then we can kind of have a look over top of the area here. Now, I'm not exactly sure where the red pandas are right now at the moment. They don't seem to be out here because these people are coming over here and they realize that they don't see any. Oh, good. Sun's out. Sun's out, pandas out? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah, you can kind of get a good look here at the little platforms and stuff that I built for them and how they interact with the cherry trees and stuff like that. I put that in there, and they really like climbing around on this. I gave them the gift wrapping box down here to play with, but I've never seen them use it, so don't know if they do or not. They have the food enrichment down here that helps them so that they get a little bit of enrichment. They get fed as well. And let's see. Yeah, they're just not out here. I don't know where they're at right now at the moment. Where are they? They must be inside. I built a little door right here so that our caretakers and keepers and stuff can kind of come out here if they need to into the area. So, oh, there's one. There he goes. Oh, there's both of them actually. So it turns out that I may have built the hole slightly too large, and I'm probably gonna have to go back in there and like redo that. So that shouldn't be too hard to do. See right there, see how they get into this and then they just kind of do weird things and climb through stuff and things. It's just not right how they jumped right there. That's what I was talking about with it not being 100% fluid. See, watch this. See? I don't understand why. I don't know if it's just where these two things are connected right here. I don't know if it's the pieces I used or what, but there's something definitely wrong there, and I'm going to have to look into that. They have, there's way too many guests watching them, and they get a little stressed out because of all the guests, unfortunately. I've still got a few more things to fix on the enclosure to try to make it work, but, like, I still haven't put the trims and stuff down on the backside of this, and I still got to fix some things back in here too, but that's just little things. The main stuff of it is all done here. So yeah, the red pandas, they'll come out for a little bit, but they like to go back in and hide. They just don't like being looked at. They're definitely introverts. they're not extrovert animals. They are introverted for sure. Animal after my own heart. Let's watch him climb back over here again, and you guys can see how he... Oh, he's got a... Okay, he's going down to the ground. That's what he's doing. Okay, then. Well, I think he's possessed. I don't know if that's the male or the female. But, again, guys, if you got any good names... Oh, okay. Oh, there we go. He's actually playing with a box. This is the first time I've seen him play with a box. I've seen other animals do it, but I've never seen them do it. And, okay, I guess he's done with that. He's like, well, that's that for that. Alright, and this one, I'm thinking this might be the female. I think she comes out, she gets too stressed, and it goes back in, I think. I'll have to figure out how to fix that. Going back inside, though, I want to kind of show you guys what I've built on the inside up here. To keep them from climbing out, I put the little, the non-climbable barriers. I'll say it right in a minute. Ugh, word's hard. Up at the top here. This keeps them from climbing out. And then I did the leaf bedding and the hay bedding. I kind of combined them together. I thought that kind of looks more foresty. Don't know if it causes any problems or not, but yeah, that's how I did. Of course, we have the food and stuff down here for them as well. When they get fed, we got the water on this side. And then I made some more beds for some more. So once we get some more, once these two start mating and we get some little baby red pandas, then they're going to need some places to stay as well. So I built these little platforms up here. I think, all in all, I think this came out really nice. Still got some more work to do, but I'm fairly happy with it. And then couple things you guys didn't see in the construction video was I put bamboo. I went all the way around to cover up all of those with the mulch all the way around, and then I put bamboo up around the edge to hide the outside world. And now back here you guys can see that's the river. I mean, it's called Riverbank Zoo, so obviously we're going to need a river. So we got the start of the river back there. But this is, I'm pretty happy with how this came out. Again, when I first started building, I wasn't sure, but the more I started putting everything together and making it work, I was very happy with it. So we'll kind of come across through here. If I can get past these guests, we'll take a look at the little red panda statues there. There's just too many guests in this area. I need to get the guests kind of spread out a little bit more, but yeah, there's I think this came out really nice. So you guys tell me, what do you think in the comments below? Do you like the little red panda exhibit? I know there's probably going to be a few people who are going to be asking me where they can download this. It's not going to be downloadable. I'm not going to put it up on the workshop. It's just, I just don't really like putting most of my stuff up on the workshop anymore because people take off with it and they like to use it as their own and claim it as their own and put their name on it and stuff, or just don't give any credit or anything for it, and I just don't like that. So it bugs me. So I've pretty much stopped putting anything of mine up on the workshop anymore because of that. Yeah, so for those who are asking where to download it, there's your answer. Don't want to see that comment. If you comment that, I'm just going to say watch the video. And that's going to be it. So, alright guys, I'll leave you with a view here of the red pandas, wherever they are. They're probably inside. Yeah, they are. One's sleeping and the other one's getting some water. Or going to play in the water. Or the other. Aw, look at that. See, I want to leave you guys with this. This is where we're going to leave off the video, with a sleeping red panda. How cute is that? Alright guys, if you enjoy what you've seen, you want to see more of my work, check out my Planet Coaster videos, check out more of the Planet Zoo videos and stuff I do. If you're not already subscribed here on the channel, click that subscribe button so you get notified whenever I do more videos and stuff. I do a ton of videos here on my channel, and I will see you in the next video. Should be a Planet Coaster one probably next weekend, I would say. And then hopefully we can get enough people so that we'll get another episode of Planet Coaster up for Halloween, because I got some Halloween stuff to work on. So we will see you in those two videos. Yeah, so wherever you guys are in the world, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Thanks for watching.